Good evening, I'm Deon Guillory.
Breaking news just into our newsroom in the last few minutes. Baton Rouge police firing the officer involved in an alleged shooting involving a man named Raheem Howard. This just in the last 2 hours, all of it caused by a controlled burn in Denham Springs. The governor's office has 30 more days to respond to a public information request filed by a woman who claims a former top aide sexually harassed her. All right, good evening, everybody. Deon Guillory here from your local election headquarters. I want to let you know before we even get to these election numbers that you will not miss any of this game. You can see it in the box right there. A sigh of relief for her family and the community who have really been taking a really close look at this case. A pillar of our community killed. She was found in the trunk of her car. Investigators say he stole a car, rammed it into another vehicle, and abandoned it on the Bonnie Carey Spillway, eventually causing a fire. Businesses jumping into the yearly tradition of Bama Bash, including Zippy's taco shop on College Drive. Every year, the restaurant puts up a different marquee sign every day of the Bama Hate Week. Lizzo leads the pack with 8. I'm a huge Lizzo fan. The Grammy Awards ceremony is February 10th.
She's still cat to me.
Oh, Ariana, yes.
Yeah, she's so cute. That little, she played the little redhead. She's so cute. Anyway, so talented.
Yes,
also. I can't wait to see that, though. You did great on all those names. You know I'd have messed them up.
Yeah, people didn't know. That wasn't in the script. He was just ad-libbing.
Yeah.
There was no Lizzo. There was nothing.
I own a lot of that music, so that would make it day 4 since hackers hit state computers. NBC Local 33's Kara St. Cyr is live with driver frustration and what's being done to fix this major problem. Kara. Developing now, the former LSU student convicted in a Pledge's hazing death is now out of jail. In the last couple of hours, Matthew Nakan posted a $10,000 bond. He was sentenced to 5 years in prison today. He is expected to serve half that time because of time served. Nakan was convicted in Max Groover's death. Part of his sentencing requires him to talk to high school students about hazing. It's something Groover's parents say they don't agree with. District Attorney Hiller Moore says Nakan will likely serve no more than 10 months after a series of appeals. New at 6, 3 men are facing attempted murder charges after shooting someone during an attempted armed robbery. The East Baton Rouge Parish Sheriff's Office says Rayshawn Rogers, Jared Hopkins, and Darvion Lathers attempted to rob people at a home in the 5,000 block of Sherrill Drive late last night. Investigators say one of the men eventually got into a scuffle with one of the homeowners, and the other 2 started shooting at the house. All 3 are currently booked in the parish prison. The LSU Tigers could have a date with destiny in New Orleans for the national championship in January. Today, the College Football Playoff Host Committee shared details about the events leading up to the big game. The free concert series will feature Tim McGraw, Meghan Trainor, Her, Nas, and Louisiana native trombone Shorty. Lafayette native Lauren Daigle will perform the national anthem. For all of you just keeping score here, LSU played in the last 3 championship games played in New Orleans. All right, let's talk a little traffic with Jesse Gunkel. Our team coverage continues tonight with Baton Rouge police saying activist Sadie Roberts-Joseph's death was not a hate crime. Tonight, Ron Bell is in the East Baton Rouge Parish Prison charged with her murder. Police say the convicted sex offender was a tenant in one of Roberts-Joseph's rental properties and owed her $1,200 in back rent. An emotional turn and an already heartbreaking loss. Tonight, her family is grateful for the outpouring of support.
This great job that was done in the midst of a hurricane, in the midst of a storm. It was a storm for us in the midst of a storm.
That storm has passed for the family of Sadie Roberts-Joseph. Baton Rouge police saying this man killed the beloved civil rights activist.
As much as I'd like to be at home right now, just wallowing in my own grief, I cannot do that to her. She worked so hard. She pushed. She got everything that she could out of the 75 years that she lived.
Her daughter shedding more light on the impact her mother had on this community. While many questions still remain unanswered about her death, her family is just ready to move forward.
I'm still numb. I'm not angry. For several days I wasn't anything. I wasn't anything but numb. But for those who were and are angry, live a better life. Give of yourself to your community to make the whole better.
Now, she went on to say there's also solace in knowing and feeling that everything that could possibly be done was being done. Now, the man accused of killing Sadie Roberts Joseph is charged with second-degree murder. New at 10 tonight, this is what a Prairieville salon looks like after an SUV drove right through it. The driver now under investigation for DWI.
Bang, personally I thought it was like an explosion.
This is what's left of Graffiti Hair Studio in Prairieville. Owner Charlie Thibodeau says someone drove through the building minutes after opening for the day.
Once she hit the wall, the car stopped, but I could still hear the tires moving. I was banging on her door because her window was down, and I just tell her, like, put the car in park, put the car in park. She didn't really seem all there, so finally she kind of came to a little bit, put the car in park, and I could still hear the engine revving, so clearly she was still accelerating.
Thibodeau says employees were there and a few customers were inside, but no one was hurt. But look at the damage. You see where the SUV came in from the right side of this picture. Pieces of the wall thrown over the floor, pieces of the ceiling just hanging. You can still see tire marks. The salon, just remodeled after 12 years, the new look unveiled just 8 days ago.
We were fortunate enough to make this space so beautiful, and we'll do it again. It's just a matter of time.
Thibodeau says they have a second location here in Baton Rouge where customers can go. Other salon owners, she says, have offered supplies and chairs for the team to work while they get that shop fixed. This crash is still under investigation. Now to the story only on NBC Local 33, determined and resilient. Those are two words East Baton Rouge Metro Council member Denise Amoroso uses to describe herself. If you don't remember this, it's been nearly a year since her husband Buddy died in a bike accident. It put her world in a tailspin where she works to find who she is now while becoming a lot more compassionate.
The norm that I lived for 37 years is no longer my norm.
Denise Amoroso holding back tears as she describes what her life is like in the years since her husband, former Metro Council member Buddy Amoroso, died in a bicycle accident. She says everyone has a Buddy story.
When you lose someone, people are afraid, you're afraid that they're going to be forgotten. And so people talking about him and telling me how he made a difference in their life has meant everything in the world to me.
Her world is now a 180 since her husband's death. She was appointed to his seat after some controversy. Several council members didn't vote, saying the process to fill vacant council seats is outdated. Several months later, she won a special election. Now, in her husband's former office, surrounded by pictures of him and mementos, this school teacher is front and center in Baton Rouge government.
It's been good therapy for me to help other people the way that they need to be helped.
This is the seat where Denise Amoroso sits for Metro Council meetings. She says it's a job she takes with full responsibility while continuing her late husband's legacy.
He dearly loved his city, and he dearly loved his district, and he loved the people, and I want to see that continued.
One day after his death, some 100 people in the Baton Rouge cycling community came together to remember Buddy Amoroso for a memorial bike ride.
We proved today that there's all these people out there who care about Buddy, who care about biking.
The plan is to make this an annual event called the Buddy Ride. It will benefit Louisiana Key Academy, the only charter school in the Baton Rouge area specifically for children with dyslexia.
Buddy was dyslexic, and Buddy was very involved with that school.
As she plans for that, Denise Amoroso says she's working hard to fill her late husband's shoes, keeping his memory close to her with a bike tattoo on her wrist while learning more about Denise 2.0.
Never dreamed of being sitting here behind this desk or behind that desk in there. So you don't know what life is going to hold. So I just take one day at a time. It's all I can do.
Now, the Buddy Ride is Saturday morning at 7:30 at Point Marie on River Road. There are several different rides and several different times, including one for the kids. You can find all the information on our free Be Our Proud app.